Hello and welcome to CB English Tuition. Today we have a lesson on the pronunciation of words ending in ed by myself, Charlie Baxter. So, here we have it. There are three ways to produce the ed end to a word. I'm going to refer only to regular verbs in the simple past tense to keep this lesson understandable. As seen here, the sounds to make are id, d, and t. Id, d, and t. Now, the way we work out which sound to say is by paying attention to the end of the infinitive. Now, what's the infinitive? Well, here we have it. On the left, we have the simple past tense. And on the right, we have the infinitive. The infinitive is the base verb with the word to in front of it. The combination of the word to and the base verb create what we call an infinitive verb. So, as you can see, needed turns back to need. Looked, to look. Asked, to ask. So that is what an infinitive is. With the infinitive, there are simply two tests you need to do in order to know which of the three sounds to make. The first test is really simple. Does the infinitive have a t or a d sound? If the answer is yes, then you have your sound. It is id. Here we have some example id ending words. Try to notice the rule in place here. Needed, wanted, provided, started, decided. See how the end of the infinitive has a t or a d sound. And you may have noticed that some actually end in an e, such as provide or to decide. This is why I'm saying listen out for the sound, not the letter, because the e is silent in decide and provide. So, if the word in question does not end with a t or d sound, then you move on to the second and final test, which is the end of the infinitive word voiced or unvoiced? If it is voiced, it is a d sound. If it is unvoiced, it is a t sound. What is a voiced sound? Well, you can test this by placing your hand on your neck, and if it vibrates, then it is a voiced sound and the sound to make is d. So go ahead and place your hand on your throat and try these examples. Used, called, turned, seemed, involved. Notice how the end sound of the infinitive is voiced. Well, let's take a look at the opposite to help clarify further. So an unvoiced sound is one that comes from your lips, tongue or teeth and does not vibrate your throat, which gives the sound t to the ed ending. Here are some unvoiced sounding verbs: looked, asked, based, increased, produced. So listen carefully. When you put looked into its infinitive form, the sound at the end of the word comes from my lips. To look. It's not the voice box that is making the sound, it's my tongue, lips and teeth trapping the air to make a k sound. To look. To look. And the same applies with to ask, to base, to increase, to produce. The s sound is coming from my teeth. So, If we put the three sounds on one page, it might be easier to understand fully. If the infinitive ends with a t or d sound, the ed ending is pronounced id. Needed, seated, hated, added. If the infinitive ends with a voiced sound and does not end with a t or d sound, then you add d. Described, moved, allowed, happened. And lastly, if the infinitive ends with an unvoiced sound and does not end with a t or d sound, then you add t. For example, looked, asked, increased, developed. Very quickly in summary, for a t or d sound you add id. A voiced sound you add d. An unvoiced sound you add t. I hope that has helped you understand how to pronounce ed ending words. I welcome you to leave any comments or questions on the topic below this video. This lesson was brought to you by myself, Charlie Baxter, at CB English Tuition, a professional online English academy. Do stop by at cbenglishtuition.com for further resources and professional Skype tuition around the clock. Until next time, bye for now.